Okay, I have multiple recordings with my sister. One of the things that I'm afraid of, and the conversation with Marcia Estrada shows this, the courts often make mistakes. Or they'll send the stuff out too late, or they will write down the wrong date, and then you get into trouble because you didn't show up to court when, well, like, for example, court in Deuel County, Nebraska is usually on Thursdays for the civil court. However, my court is on Friday the 4th, which is odd. Now, there's also the fact that I'm supposed to go to the Deuel County Courthouse when Leslie Snell is at lunch. Unfortunately, Joan Hanson, the court clerk, is on lunch at the same time. Leslie Snell came back from lunch before Joan Hanson did, and Leslie Snell looked right at me and got on the phone. So she's probably going to pretend that I violated the protection order. Meanwhile, the protection order is illegal. Joan Hanson does need to be subpoenaed to the court to show that I did on multiple occasions go in about getting protection orders against Scott DaCosta, as well as some of his deputies, as well as, well, many, many others. Now, this recording here is with my sister, and this is the day that we were supposed to be going to the courts, that Joan Hanson was to come out and meet me. That way I don't have to go into the courthouse, because on the protection order it says I'm not allowed in the Deuel County Courthouse. Meanwhile, I was illegally prevented from going to court. This is one of the tricks that is utilized. You are prevented from doing the paperwork, prevented from having any assistance with the paperwork. It says address. Whose address are you supposed to put on there? Your address or the address for the courts? In this recording, I did have to ask Joan that. Now, with Leslie Snell, there's a possibility that when I go in to talk to McCook Police Department today, as Amanda DeMette has already stated that she is afraid of, there's a possibility that I might be arrested for obviously doing what I was told to do. Now, in this, me and Tara have to go to the courthouse not once but twice because Joan Hanson is on lunch. When she comes out to the vehicle, that's supposed to be for my safety, and also supposed to be so that I don't violate this protection order, which is bullshit, against somebody who broke the law and intentionally tried to make me a target, again, for harassment that she was aware that I was going through. And I am speaking specifically about Leslie Snell. She intentionally attempted to make me a target by giving out my phone number, knowing full well that I was already being targeted on my previous phone and had to buy a new phone and get a new phone number again. And then, of course, the paperwork with, God, what's that SOB's name? William Barr, shows that, yes, I had multiple phones. When I contacted him to try to get help, it was on multiple phones. It wasn't harassment. He was my friend, or pretended to be my friend. But, of course, instead of trying to do something about the harm that was coming to me, he wanted to tell me a bunch of bullshit about God. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not cool. Anyway, so in this, there's me obviously pissed off at my sister about this tweaker cam bullshit, and she does speak about how she feels that she is being targeted, and possibly because of the situation with me, which is one of my fears. But then there's also the fact that she has no actual evidence of this. In the previous recording that I was just trying to make at the very beginning, she's talking about how black cars are following her everywhere. It's some insane stuff. Now, I don't believe that these black cars are following her everywhere. For me, it's not black cars following me all over the place. It's not some big conspiracy from the Illuminati chasing me. It's not tweaker cam set up and you have absolutely nothing to show for it. In months and months and months of having these things up, I gave my sister $400 all the way back in January of 2021. $400 so that she would have the money to get into housing. She is still not in housing, and she spent that money on tweaker cams that have since then, since January, that's over a year, January of last year, they have caught absolutely nothing, and she still spends all that time per day looking at these cameras trying to find something off in Tweakerville. And I don't want to think of my sister as a meth head. If she was anyone else, it would be a different story. She's my sister. I want to assume the best in her, but her behaviors are showing me tweaker. Her actions are showing me tweaker. Her state of mind is showing me tweaker. The people who are around her and helping her to make decisions are schizoaffective and also violent-minded. Yes, that all points to tweaker. But I don't want to think of my sister as a tweaker. I want to assume the best in her. I want to keep telling myself, well, maybe she got hit in the head real hard, or things like that. Now, when I get done with this one, I will go back to the other video or the other recording that I have, and I'll play just the first part of it. You'll get to hear my frustration, how frustrated I am at this tweaker bullshit, about how when I was paying my sister for help, how she wanted to go off on her tweaker bullshit. And I don't know how to look at it any other way. I mean, I have taken this stuff to people who have been meth addicts, who are recovering, who are no longer on the drugs, and them explaining to me the actual situation as they see it, from their experience, actual experience as meth addicts, something that I've only experienced secondhand. But I'm going to play this, and it's got to be raw, real, and uncut. It's 57 minutes and 12 seconds long, and well, it's got a lot of stuff in it.
Back up, Walter. Thank you, sir.
I thought I'd just drive us over.
Yes, ma'am.
So, there's a couple things in there, but
I gotta put on my seatbelt first.
so,
I'm done looking up the roads. Ed won't get in any trouble.
Ed won't get in any trouble.
No, he won't. It's a good thing.
For what?
Misrepresenting the situation. Due to the fact that he's schizoaffective, that's legal defense. He can't get in any trouble.
For what?
Touching my computer. I never should have let him do it. I knew better. It's my fault. Manny spoke up last night. It was about a 2.5-hour interview.
A couple of things. I don't want any more mentions of me and Dusty online. I'm wondering if us being mentioned online is what's causing us to be harassed.
You're not being harassed, Tara. That's the thing, is that it's... Well, you definitely are being harassed. But it's not stalker stuff, it's just vandalism so far. I'm trying to get you all the stuff that you need in order to, if you are being followed and stuff like that, which, you know, I can't say if it's happening or not.
Yeah.
But the best way to protect you on that is to get you the stuff that you need, and I'm trying to do that. But that's the thing, Tara, is that you guys aren't going through 1/100th what I am.
Right.
And, you know, these people obviously made these threats that obviously should have been taken seriously, and my family, instead of brushing it off like it's not a major issue, it is a major issue.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is no more mentions of us. Just because I want to make sure that from the recordings I've gone through that it's been going on. The mentions of us has been going on for a year.
Over a year. I started
Yeah.
talking about the situation
Yes,
with
I
family ignoring me and blowing me off all the way back when it first started. When I said that the truth is what needs to come out, people need to tell the truth. Yes, people need to tell the truth. You and Destiny and me will have to deal with this until I am dead or someone steps forward and has the balls to speak up and tell the truth. And it has to be told to the American public so that they're aware.
Yes,
That's
but
the
there
thing
is
about
a
Marcus
recording
Brother.
on there that you mentioned me and Michael, and you labeled us as drug dealers and
Not you.
vandalists.
No. I never, ever accused you of being a drug dealer or a child molester. And Michael, absolutely. I've got recordings from multiple people when that whole thing happened telling me, yeah, Michael fucking was molesting his own daughter. And yes, it was Brenda Dickinson who told me that. And not just Brenda Dickinson, but Amanda told me that. And they're not the only ones. I mean, I had a lot of people telling me that. Meanwhile, Mom helped him, but she ignored me. I didn't exist. I wasn't worth even listening to about it. And, you know, that's
The
not
way the recording went, it went as in Terry Higgs and Michael Albert, but the way it was worded, it didn't get worded enough to, you know. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to the courthouse.
That's the problem with having to do it that way without
Yeah.
other people speaking up. Like, I have to try to explain it. I'm autistic. When I'm overwhelmed, my
Yeah.
words don't come out right. And that's why I need other people to look at the evidence and to speak up for me.
It's not just autistic people. People with PTSD quite often have communication issues, and anyone can be flustered when they're afraid, when there's something important going on and they are being abused and they're not being listened to. Let's continue this recording.
Do you have to call before you go in?
Yep. Well, I gotta have you call.
I have to call?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to call the courthouse. There's the troopers. I'm trying to turn them in too.
But sometimes you can they start something and you just go. So, I don't have their number though.
Oh, make a note. That's right.
Tina, hush. Tina, stop.
Alright, phone is... Oh, that's old. This is the... Clerk of Courts.
Stop. Oh, no.
Oh, that's Deuel County, South Dakota.
Oh, stop.
Soon as the dog will be quiet. On the right side, there's a snack dog in the elections.
Courthouse jumping down.
Yep.
Can I just say I'm here with my brother Sean to turn in papers?
Yeah, they're supposed to send the clerk of the courts out.
Stop. Hi, I'm here with my brother Sean, and somebody's supposed to be getting set out to collect papers. Sorry. Someone, who is it?
The Deuel County Clerk of Courts.
Deuel County Clerk of Courts is supposed to...
Joan Hanson.
Oh, sorry, what? 2909? Okay. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, she's at lunch? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, if they're at lunch, then we can come back in like, I don't know, what time?
On the west side, near the cigarette.
Yeah, she's at lunch? Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. 2909? Okay. Yep. Thank you. Bye. 2909. She'll be back at 1. I have to be back by 2:30 because I got to get Destiny out of school.
Yeah.
Oh, Zena, stop.
Want to go do something for an hour? Well, it wouldn't be an hour.
It'd be a half an hour.
Yeah.
Go back to your house, I guess.
God, I wish it was my house. That was the house I was going to buy with the money that ended up getting spent on the courts. The thing with not speaking up at the beginning is they got completely into a big giant mess. Now, if they pull some bullshit today, what I need is someone who's going to speak out publicly about it. But that's the horrible thing, is that I get treated like I'm a terrible person for telling the truth or doing it the way that it needs to be done. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of people getting away with doing whatever the hell they want to. I'm tired of people like Laura Nelson and you and all of these other people, you know, that know things about the situation that didn't come forward and now want to be mad at me because I had to come forward alone instead of people verifying that I was telling the truth. Like, oh, why don't you just let it go? Why don't you just love yourself? Shit like that. Like, if I didn't love myself, I wouldn't be trying to get help. I wouldn't have fucking gone through all that bullshit at Grandma's funeral. Instead of people saying, oh, you shouldn't say nothing, don't talk about us, I'm not going to stop telling the truth because as long as this is going on, I have to be afraid, you have to be afraid, those threats are very real, it's not like I made this stuff up. People were threatening to kill me and my family before Natalie was killed. Stop it is to speak up loud and proud and say, hey, this is wrong, this isn't okay, it does need to stop. Sean is telling the truth, and it's not like I'm not trying to show it. You know, there's a lot of people that I paid a lot of money, like Graham, for example, was supposed to go through this with me and help me with it. All he did was screw me over. But he did it in the name of Jesus, so it's okay.
I'm going to try it, but a lot of this being on the threat crop and constantly being accused of being a drug dealer. I've had random people coming up to me, Sean.
And I'm telling you that I didn't say that you were a fucking drug dealer. I said my family is a bunch of drug dealers. And I said in many of those videos, my sister is not a drug dealer. My sister is not a fucking child molester. I've said that in many videos.
I'm just telling you what I've had to deal with.
And I'm telling you that I have to deal with 1,000 times more of it. So we either fight this together and put a stop to it. That's what we have to do, and the only way to do that is to speak up in public. That's the only way to do it. When it comes to police corruption and harassment and assaults and these other people that are actually doing these things, you have to speak up if those things are actually happening.
And I'm going to speak up right now. From now on, no more posting about me and Destiny. Because these threats need to stop, and I'm going to stop it.
Exactly, and thank you.
Yes.
And one of the things that we need to do is to figure out what paperwork to file. My friend Andy Hughes is going to try to help you with that.
Yes.
And she's not the only one. I've got other witnesses that are willing to come forward. The thing is that I needed one person to come forward. That's it, just one. And Mandy Hughes finally came forward yesterday. And Marcia Estrada came forward, and you came forward. And this...
Now, mind you, I've had a few Mandys that I've dealt with in this situation. Mandy Hughes was one of the ones at the very beginning who claimed that she was going to help me. Claimed that she would go in with me to speak to the police, and never kept her word. She's also the one who, when I was in the Arapahoe County Jail, according to her, sent me money so that I could use the phone, and it never showed up. Now, later on, when everything was already done and over with, and there was nothing that I could do any longer, because they had already pulled their whole railroading me and separating me from any of the help or any of the witnesses, then her daughter, Alyssa Rainwater, had sent me money. So when I'm saying Mandy Hughes, what I'm trying to say is Mandy Singer, who is my friend here in McCook. And obviously, you know, with the situation as it is, it's difficult to make sure that everything is coming out right and dandy and perfect. I mean, there's at least 8 different Missies, including Layla Missy Johnson and Missy Bruce and Missy Richards. There are a lot of different Missies. There are also a few Jameses. I mean, it very much becomes an extremely complicated situation. That doesn't make me crazy for not being able to communicate it correctly or effectively, especially when I'm trying to get the point across of what's happening. The one who spoke up was Mandy Singer, not Mandy Hughes. Let's continue this. Now, also, my sister is wanting to have me keep her and my niece out of this. Well, if they're being threatened and harassed as a result of this, then I very well can't, can I? There's only one way to stop this. Now, with my sister and her obvious mental health issues, my sister needs help herself. So how am I going to get help from her in this situation? Now, later on in this conversation, we're going to be speaking about my little brother and the trouble that he got into, and of course my mom trying to help him out, and how important it is for people to, if you weren't in the situation, then you cannot say whether something did or did not happen. So let's continue the recording.
Stuff that obviously, you know, I've been stating loud and proud and perfectly clear that they're going to go through 2,000 videos where I said you are not a drug dealer, that you're not a drug addict. And then they're going to go fishing for one that they can try to use. Oh, well, he said you're a drug. No, I didn't. I said my whole family is a bunch of drug dealers and child molesters, except for my sister. And I'm sorry that I didn't make the exception for your daughter, because obviously, you know, she isn't involved in it, shouldn't be involved in it, but she really, literally is. The situation that you're living in right now is a direct result of me not being able to help because of the crimes that Scott costed.
Yes.
You know, I legit, when I told you I was going to give you $200 a month so that you and Destiny had something.
Yes, I got that recording too, yes.
I wasn't sure if it was in there or not, but I was hoping.
I'll have to double check, but I do believe I got that one.
Because all of the ones that I had with you and Riley over there, those are all private. All of them. I saved them specifically for the courts. I saved those specifically to show the situation, to try to get a lawyer, but without somebody speaking up, and I've been explaining this since day one. You've been called mentally ill. You need to have somebody speak up for you. You need an advocate. Without someone there present, you're screwed. And I've been explaining that for 5 years. I mean, this stuff with Natalie and the harassment and the threats started before she was killed. Over a year before she was killed. The day I got back to Boulder, I had people harass me and shove me and accused me of stalking her. I'm like, I didn't stalk anybody. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from them. And a lot of people, you know, they wanted to hate me because they're like, oh, well, you know, Sean, I can't help you because there's all these people being targeted in these groups. Obviously, these things are true.
Would you stop? Some of the stuff that I'm dealing with in Sydney is teenagers being teenagers. But some of the other things that are going on, I'm not entirely sure. But I'm wondering if it has something to do with the YouTube stuff.
It has to do with me having to speak up on my own without any support.
Okay, fair enough. That could be done. But
I was trying to explain to you at Grandma's funeral that people were threatening to kill you in Destiny. I mean, it's not like I wasn't trying to explain this.
And you kept getting blocked, and I kept getting pushed away by the others. And I could tell.
Uncle Matt came up to me before the funeral even started. He said, your mom's pissed that you're here.
Oh, yeah. But recording people,
it's not against the law, that's the thing. That's not what I should have had to do to show what we're going through. That's not what I should have had to do.
But doing it to me and then putting it on Facebook.
You know, I wasn't doing it to you. It wasn't a mean, hateful thing. It was this needs to stop. The only way to stop it is to speak out loud and proud publicly. And show the truth publicly. And you know what? Without people backing me up that I'm telling the truth, this is going to continue to happen until I'm dead. Maybe you'll get left alone after I'm dead. Maybe that is what it'll take.
No. Possible.
A lot of people are dead. I don't want them to be dead.
No. Is it John? Is it Sean? Yeah. You think you're going inside? We're just messing around. I just didn't feel like sitting in front.
That's the thing, Ted. All of these people, I said all of the good things that they did. I told the truth about the things they did to help me. But the one thing that they didn't do is speak out publicly about it. Because they didn't want to be targeted. They'd seen other people being targeted. They'd seen how I had been treated because I was targeted. You're damn right. I have over 400 recordings of people just on my YouTube, and most of them I can't put on YouTube. That computer that was wiped, I mean, that's had hundreds of conversations with, you know, the railroad people I'm trying to turn in. A lot of the people that promised they were going to help and promised they were going to go into court with me for months and months and months. I'm taking abuse, and these people are blowing me off. They're giving me false promises. I will. Well, fucking 7 months later, they haven't. And I have to do desperate shit to try to get help because this stuff obviously hasn't stopped. And Michael can kiss my ass.
I don't think Michael is even aware of anything.
Well, he called up Amanda and was trying to fucking hop on her. She wasn't real happy about that.
When was this?
I got the recording up there. It was, while he was...
Would you stop?
While he was going through that court stuff for molesting his stepdaughter.
You know that didn't happen, right? Watch out. You're stepping on stuff.
You know, I don't believe anything Michael says. I know too many women in this town that he's done shit like that to.
Alright, now we're about to get to the part where my sister wants to backtrack, backpedal, and backstep. Whether or not Michael did that or not, she's, well, wasn't there. She can't say whether it did or did not happen. But the fact is, given Michael's history, which is far different from mine, I have a history of protecting people. Michael has a history of thinking with his dick. And yes, I do have recordings with Amanda. Actually, there's a couple of them on my YouTube channel here where she is talking about the situation with Michael and talking about how, while that was going on, he was trying to get a hold of her to hook up sexually. But we will continue this.
Christina, stop.
So Brenda just made up that he was charged with that? And Amanda just made up that he was charged with that? That's a hell of an answer.
Well, I can't answer for them.
Was he or was he not charged?
No, he wasn't charged. Tina.
Well, from what Amanda was saying, he was living in Mom's garage while he was going through the court crap with that. Ashley had kicked him out.
Yeah, he was told to be elsewhere while he was going through it. So yes, he was living in Mom's garage because he was told to go elsewhere while he was going through it.
Going through what?
Through the court, through the trial.
So he was charged. There wouldn't be a trial if he wasn't charged.
So until it was official, he was told to be out of the house.
And it wasn't over sexual assault?
But then after everything was done, then he moved back in.
Everything with what? What was he charged with? Was he charged with domestic violence? Was he charged with harassment? Was he charged with...
Well, yeah, he was charged with sexual assault, but he didn't do it, though.
Were you there?
Oh, no. Well, how was he was able to move back in and still have his kids?
That's a very big, serious situation.
Right. Zena, would you stop?
Only 1 to 3% of rapists are ever convicted.
Okay.
80% of the time when somebody is raped or molested as a child is one of the other parents. That is statistics. I mean, for years, when Michael was saying, "You raped Tara," I was always, every time, "Hey, go talk to Tara. Go talk to her. Go talk to her. Go talk to her. Go talk to her." Then, when I made my Facebook account, I had a friend of mine help me make a Facebook back in 2012. And within 2 days, I got Michael getting on there and being an asshole to me. It's like, dude, you know what? I'm done. He was the first person I ever blocked on my Facebook. Call her and ask her. It's not difficult. The only thing keeping people from actually doing the shit that they threaten to do is the fact that I still make it so public.
True that. Ooh, that's cold. Having that window blowing on my phone like that. What's the temperature?
What?
It's 37 degrees.
Oh, it's warm. The great thing about Mandy is that she's honest. And she'll say it like it is. If you listen to the interview with her, like that's a real interview. It's 2.5 hours long. My phone's beeping at me.
It's up there on the desk. According to certain sources in Sydney, I'm a wanted. How did it get put? I'm a wanted suspect in Sydney. A possible wanted suspect in Sydney.
What?
Because I look familiar for a wanted suspect. I don't know. I didn't get all the full information on it.
Well, that's why I cite my
look
sources.
like, well, I got Senior, and then I got Ed, because I look like one of the possible, because the drug dealing suspect.
That's the thing, Tara. I never said you were a drug dealer.
I know that, Sean. I did my research. I looked on some of the other stuff. I did phone calls. I did the U.S. Marshal thing. I looked online. I even called just to do my own shit. I called in on all kinds of different things, on all kinds of different other things, to see what we could do about getting help in any form. And like you said, there isn't anything out there.
Exactly, and that needs to be stated. You know, there's a lot of people that have been involved in this, and we've gone around in circles and gotten nowhere. I mean...
Yeah, they send you to this number, oh, call these people. Oh, well, if he's already called here, then you gotta go there.
And that's the thing about actually speaking up. Like, you know, like I said, the conversations that we have, that's what needs to be recorded in an interview about this. And, you know, we can't be talking about spots on your lights. You know, people are gonna... Lots of crazy shit.
Yeah,
and then,
because then they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the point, is that, you know, in order for me to help you, we have to be able to work together to get this to stop. I never wanted anybody to be targeted. The best way to keep people safe was to tell the truth, and I did tell the truth. Every step of the way I told the truth.
Yeah.
And I also understand when somebody's got a dependency on their medications in order to function, that's extremely important. You know, for you, when you said that you didn't have your meds, like, that's probably something I should have paid more attention to. But the thing is, I mean, we're down to the wire. This is the deadline right here.
Yes.
You know, and if I'm not able to get something done here, even if I'm locked up, even if I'm in prison or jail for the rest of my life, you and Destiny still have to worry about this for the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
Just so you know, over 100 women have come forward about their predators, hoping that I could help them. I sent you that evidence with Amy and Andrew Witcher. I'm not sure if you've had time to go through it.
Oh, the two videos?
Yeah, no, not the videos. I sent you a package full of screenshots from Amy.
The only one I got of an email was 2 videos. That was it.
Oh, that ain't right, because I sent some more than that, and that needs to... And I can show you, when we're done with this, I'll show you that I sent some more than that.
This is still talking machine.
Also, I'm locked out of my account, since we messed with that tablet first day. I'm locked out of my main account. Yeah. To ask about conflict of interest and false accusations paperwork.
Do what?
We need to get the paperwork for conflict of interest with the judge, conflict of interest with with all parties involved on that side, basically. And also false reporting paperwork.
been so long since I've been in trouble.
In order to end the problem, you gotta go to the source of the problem.
Sorry, Gina.
It's weird having a state patrol vehicle here all day.
Sometimes there are.
Not often. They must be doing something.
Would you stop? What was the number again?
2909.
Oh, stop. Who am I asking for again?
John Hanson. How many is it?
Oh wait, because I'm worried that she's not in there. Gina, stop. Stop. I just think that... Stop.
Oh, it's nasty.
You're fine. I got you.
So I gotta worry about legal bullshit because she's here. Now, obviously I'm not threatening her. Obviously I'm not flipping her off or screaming at her or nothing like that.
With me.
There's John Hanson right there.
Yep. Got my phone down already. Are you gonna have to go in? I probably should.
No, she's supposed to come out.
And get it from you?
Yep.
So we're not gonna have to go in then. So I don't need to put Zuna's harness on.
Nope.
Stop! Enough. Enough.
Since you're here, if she tries pulling any BS, you're a witness because you're present.
I am. Hi, Joan. This is Tara Hicks. I'm here with my brother, Sean Schwartz, to deliver papers. We are front. Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye. She was on the phone as she went downstairs. Zena. She's getting ready to come out the door.
All right.
I will do my best to continue to help your son the best way I can. Okay?
Speak up publicly. Say what you know. Be honest about it.
Okay, there she is.
Right. I'm going to stay in the vehicle. Alright, Ms. Hanson, I don't know, sorry, this is with a court watcher from Colorado. What address goes here?
Oh, I'll do that. That's just
All right.
P.O. Box 1, if you want to put P.O. Box 514. I usually put my stamp on that, and I forgot to do that this time.
Alright,
Chapel.
I do have two questions. I need to get conflict of interest paperwork against the Deuel County Sheriff as well as Judge Brandon Rowland.
Okay, I don't know what that is. I mean, as regarding this, I'm going to put this in and within your time frame, so then the judge will let me know what the date will be. So, I need to have some way to contact at that.
Okay,
I can,
yeah.
okay. So I'm going to email you that.
It's doggedroman@gmail.com, so...
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's how
so-
I'm going to get a hold of you on that, and then when you come to that hearing, maybe that's the question to be asked him. I don't have any paperwork.
Well, that's the
as far
thing,
as,
is
like,
that Judge
conflict of
Brandon
interest.
Rowland has already been involved in several cases where the right thing was not done. They did everything that they could to prevent me from turning in the sheriff.
Okay, so this is going to be in district court, so this will be Judge Weimer.
Is it possible I can get the information on this?
It's, you can find all of it online. It's available online. You
Oh,
can see
okay.
it.
Okay.
You just go on, I think it's Justice Case Search.
Okay.
Did I fill this out right?
Yep, and it's CI 2138, I agree to receive by mail, all of that. Okay, so you're requesting, yep, I will get this entered today, and then I'll make sure the judge sees it.
Well, the
And they will
paperwork that I
reach out
have,
to me.
the paperwork I have says Judge Brandon Rowland.
Well, it's because he signed it because Judge Weimer was out on quarantine because COVID. Normally all of this goes
Yeah,
to the district.
that's spiking up
And
again,
so that's
so,
what
yep.
we had to do because he
Well,
was the only one that had it.
Judge Weimer, I was illegally prevented from going to my first court date last year because I was incarcerated. I was trying to turn in Leslie Snell for attempting to give out my phone number publicly, knowing what was going on. She abused her position, and so did the sheriff in order to prevent me from turning him in. This is 6 times they've done this.
Okay.
I have to be afraid to come to the courthouse, and now I'm not allowed to come to the courthouse without somebody else.
Okay, so I mean, I'll make sure he knows on this that it's regarding Leslie, and when you come to the hearing, you'll be able to come up there or appear by Zoom or however. Do you have the capability to appear by Zoom if you need to?
My autism advocate has been helping with that. That's another thing, is that I am disabled. They keep denying my disability, or using my disabilities, calling it mentally ill. I'm autistic. I'm not retarded.
And you don't have to appear by Zoom. I mean, you should be able to come up to the court. I just wanted to let you know, so I'm going to talk to him so that you'll know you're able to do that. You're not
I've been able to do
violating
the
anything.
Zooms before, so
Yeah,
I
I mean, just you don't have to feel like you have to do the Zoom. That's your only choice, because you can still come to court in person. I just so you know. Okay, all right. I'm going to get this file stamped today, so we're within our 10 days.
This right here, the first protection order and this one are just a few of the tactics that they've used to prevent me from turning them in. I mean, this needs to stop. I'm not the only one who's afraid. I have so many people who are afraid to come forward, afraid to speak up, and obviously this is a small town. I've gone to you twice, at least, just about the situation with Costa. The paperwork that I've turned in for Costa, I've turned in multiple protection order paperwork to him directly, handed them to him. I mean, it's not like I haven't been trying, And
I would just bring that with you to this hearing, because that's what this is. So the point of this hearing is saying why I don't think the protection order should have to be in place, and that's when you'll bring that.
And I was illegally prevented from doing the first one, which is why I have to have my sister drive all the way here from Sydney to help me. I had a lady who was going to help me to do the paperwork against Leslie Snell because they were false reporting. And that's the thing, is they outright lied repeatedly and pretended, what, their kids are scared? They're scared of their mom going to prison. That's not like I'm going over there and threatening to chop her kids into pieces. She's claiming that she has to be afraid for her dog. But the stuff that she's pulling, I don't know if she's psycho enough to kill her own dog to pretend. I really don't.
Okay. Well,
they're trying to stay out of jail is what they're doing.
Well, this is all stuff to bring up at the hearing, okay? So right now I'm just going to get this taken care of, and then I will be in touch via this email with a notice so you know when the hearing is, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all we need.
Thank you.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Chair. I made a video right before you showed up where I said my sister is coming to help me turn in the paperwork.
Right on.
And I do want to speak out about people treating you like you're a drug dealer. That's not right.
I'm like, not once in my entire life have I ever.
Alright, I'm pausing that just for a minute. I do have to question that now. And a lot of that is because of the tweaker cams and because, well, other people who have been meth addicts have actually listened to at least part of the recordings and seen the recordings with me and my sister that she was trying to help me with. And according to them, they're pretty sure that my sister's on meth. That doesn't mean that she's a dealer. Prior to that, she smoked pot, but that was about it. God, it's such a fucked up situation. Now, there's about 5 more minutes to it, so I suppose I should probably continue that. But yeah, I don't know what to think. I want to tell myself, my sister's not on drugs, my sister doesn't do drugs, my sister's not a drug addict, my sister would not do drugs. Oh my God, like,
selling drugs.
Me neither. But that's the thing, is that's how they discredit you. They say that you're a drug dealer or you're mentally ill, and that's how they've gotten away with all of this.
I saw all the evidence of how they abused you and all that on this.
All the stuff that I talked to you and Riley about. You know, I literally have to record everything everywhere I go. I can't not record it because there are so many people who say one thing and then do another. They mislead the situation, outright lie about the situation, and it needs to stop. Some of the people who were threatening to kill me were from this town. They made fake accounts. Yeah, they were threatening towards you too. They're definitely from this town. When I was staying in Candace Bondron, wanted to harass her. That wasn't cool. That wasn't okay. They already knew who you were, Tara. That's the thing. Before Natalie died, I needed help. After she was dead, it was on the news, and people in Chapel, Nebraska heard the news, and that's all it took. And I tried explaining that. It's not your fault. But by not speaking up, it's been allowed to continue. And Mom doesn't want to recognize that. The other thing is, like...
You need to get out and go potty. I know you want to pee. Let's go, but I think she needs to go pee. Keep my pin there. Can you put my pin back up?
Do I have permission to speak about talking to Joan Hanson?
Yeah.
All right. The more on the PR and the more out in the open it is, the better. Yeah, plus having to deal with anything in the courthouse is stressful. Leslie came out and was staring at me. I just looked the other way. I didn't give her any mean looks or nothing like that.
It was a very light night.
Couple of frozen Dr. Peppers.
All right. The screenshot for this is going to be some of the message that my little sister sent me right afterwards. She was claiming some dude from Colorado was threatening her and threatening to harm my niece. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if I can believe my sister or not. I don't know if she's on drugs or not. I do know that the guy that she's listening to, this guy who she's referencing, Ed, his name is Dalton, actually. And when he first introduced himself to me, he introduced himself as special ed. Now, then there's this grain of salt. The guy is schizoaffective. It is obvious that if he's telling my sister that there's military drones flying over her house, he's not all there. I am going to play the beginning of another recording, if it will allow me to do so. I believe it's this one. I'll pause it just to let you know I'm extremely frustrated at this point. My roommate there in chapel, he knew that I was having my sister come over to help me, and he knew that we were going to have to talk about sensitive subject matter, and so right before that all got started, he ended up having his kids over, so we had to mind our P's and Q's. And of course I have to record everything when it comes to the situation with my sister or any of this court stuff to show that I have been trying. So in part of this, it actually does have my roommate's kids talking, so obviously, you know, it's not something that I intentionally recorded, and I am going to stop the video before you can actually hear them. But at this point, like, I'm completely flustered with my sister and her incessant talking about basically meth shadows. I mean, it is some completely insane crap. And I'm trying to explain to her, hey, Tara, I have evidence of actual abuse, actual threats, actual harassment, and these people committing crimes, and you are chasing meth shadows. And yes, I do very much use harsh language, and I do very much get, well, more than just frustrated, extremely frustrated. And, you know, at this point, I'm trying to cut her off from talking about this crazy shit. I mean, I'll press play.
Oh shit, I forgot the candy bar.
Because there was a candy bar and a kickstart in that bag too, along with my cigarettes.
I'll go grab them. God damn it, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ, I make every fucking effort to make sure that I stay out of his way, that I live everything in my life so that he can do what he wants.
That's what I fucking did with Amber, and she fucking kicked me out, and that's why I'm stuck where I'm at.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, you know, when I told you to pretend I was the bad guy, you did exactly the right things.
I gotta state right now, the reason that I told my sister to pretend I was the bad guy, this is after the situation with Natalie. It's after the situation with Deuel County Sheriff Scott DeCosta covering for his officers. It was prior to me meeting Sheriff DeCosta, but right after my grandmother's funeral, you know, me and my sister, I was able to talk to her. My mother was very much playing hall monitor, and Tara did not get very much time alone with me, and I explained to her, hey Tara, you know what, people are threatening to kill my loved ones over this, and you really need to pretend I'm the bad guy. As long as this is going on and people are doing the things that they're doing, you need to pretend that I'm the bad guy, that we're not friends, that you don't care about me, and so on. Because, I mean, at that point, everybody who had tried to help me had gotten a hold of me to let me know that they were being threatened or harassed or intimidated or so on and so forth, or people had had their Facebooks completely destroyed because people were claiming that they weren't who they said they were, and many of these people were homeless, so they didn't have ID in order to do all of the electronic stuff that you have to do to get your Facebook back. So many of them were angry at me as if I was a horrible monster because these predators who had targeted me also targeted people who spoke up. At this point, I needed my sister to be safe, especially with my family going out of their way to look the other way, and oh my God, it was a fucked up situation. Also, at this point, right before the recording starts, Walter, when I went outside, he had yanked me almost all the way to my sister's car. I had to, he pulled me to the ground, and like, I can't handle that. My back is too screwed up for that, and he hurt me pretty bad.
When Amber was trying to do all of her shit, I mean, she was trying to put you at risk. That's literally what she was trying to do. You know?
Yeah.
That shit just ain't okay. Who the fuck is this?
Oh.
No clue.
Illinois plate. Wonder if it's one of my stalkers.
Might be.
Because I have like 3 different black cars that follow me around.
That just sounds paranoid. Do you have any video of this? Do you have any evidence whatsoever?
I have.
Because what you're doing, Tara, you're driving me fucking nuts with these. There's lights, there's drones, there's people following me. You have the ability, you have the cameras, you have everything that you need to film.
Except for me driving by myself, I can't get them.
Tara, you can put cameras in your vehicle.
If I have the money, I can do it, yeah.
See, you're telling me about stuff that you... I'm trying to show actual evidence. I have actual evidence. Not flashy lights off in the fucking nowhere. Not some fucking drone flying overhead. It's actual bullshit. Actual evidence. And every time I try to explain this to you, you start going off about fucking flashy lights.
Stop, Peter.
I don't mind helping you with this, but I need help too, Tara. I have actual evidence.
I can help you.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying, Tara, is that if we got to put the cameras in your vehicle, let's put the cameras in your vehicle.
Yes.
You know, I'm not talking about stuff that I can't prove.
Yeah.
All right?
No.
It sounds really... When you're saying that people are fucking with your cameras, do you have people on your cameras that are fucking with it?
It's off to the side. That's the problem. I can't prove. If I have... How do I...
If you make sure that the cameras are set up in a way that one camera is facing another camera, so that they catch each other in the field of view. If somebody messes with one camera, another camera catches it. That's just too easy?
On one of the
I'm sorry, that was rude of me. That was condescending,
yeah,
and I shouldn't have said it that way.
On one of the cameras, I can point it that way to catch that one. The other one, I can't do that way. So,
you've got like 7 cameras.
Ed's checking on the other 2 to see if they've been hacked into. Because they have been caused on some of the stuff that I caught.
Ed is the schizoaffective feller, the one that's in a couple of my videos about people coming to help me. He's schizoaffective. He's talking about military drones flying over my house. He said that he knew how to fix my computer, and then he literally wiped a whole computer full of evidence, and this dude is telling me that my sister's cameras are being hacked into. No, she's got... just her alone has about 12 devices that are hooked up to the internet there. And then there's the people who actually own the internet. That's Senior. That's Riley Senior. That's her ex-husband's dad. And, you know, they have people inside of the house that are utilizing their electronic devices, all hooked up to that internet. It's not getting hacked into. It's that there's too many devices on that internet. There's also the fact that she's got cameras that are outside. Some of them are outdoor cameras and some of them are not. But it gets really cold in Nebraska. It also gets windy. Next thing you know, your camera's moving just a little bit. It doesn't mean that some tweaker is out there poking it with a stick.
Going through those ones to see what was causing it.
Alright.
So I'm going through those videos right now.
Now, mind you, she told me she spends about 20 hours a day going through this.
So he's checking those cameras for me right now to see if they were hacked into. So, yeah.
That ain't right for me to... That fucking dog hurt me bad.
I know. I saw it.
I'm literally trying not to cry right now, and I'm trying not to scream. Oh my God.
I know, Sean. I mean, he's your Uncle Sean. He's your Uncle Sean.
Oh.
You ain't.
Alright, we'll stop that. I don't need to have you guys listening to my roommate's kids. I'm doing my best not to record that on my YouTube channel. Doing my best not to put that stuff on my YouTube channel. Although there's the ones that are recorded, I think you can hear them giggling and laughing downstairs, but I'm not sure.